Have you ever wondered why some leaders seem to effortlessly command a room while others struggle to make an impact? The reason is their executive presence, that elusive quality that separates great leaders from others. But here's the thing, executive presence is not magic, and it's not a trait that you're born with. It's a skill that you develop, and that's exactly what I'll be exploring in this 4-part series. Let's dive in. Welcome to part 1 of a 4-part series on executive presence. Today, I'm going to break down the foundations of executive presence, which is authenticity and self-awareness. In the sessions to follow, we will unpack other crucial aspects of executive presence. Next is staying composed under pressure, followed by mastering communication, both verbal and nonverbal cues. And then lastly, the charisma factor, how to build genuine connections and influence. Whether you're a seasoned executive looking to refine your leadership style, or you're an up-and-coming professional aiming to make your mark, this series is your roadmap to developing a presence that inspires, influences, and leaves a lasting impression. For now, let's set the foundation. Executive presence starts with authenticity and self-awareness. I want you to picture this. You're standing at the front of the room. Your palms are sweating. Your heart's racing. And you desperately hope that no one asks a question you haven't rehearsed. Does that sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. Many aspiring leaders fall into the trap of wearing what I call the infamous leadership mask. And it shows. But here's the truth. Leadership isn't about perfecting a prepared script or emulating a boss that you once idolized. It's about finding your authentic voice and learning to share that voice with confidence. Think back for a second here. Let's have some fun to the last conference or office meeting you attended. Which presentations do you remember? And what about the presentation left a lasting impression on you? In almost all cases, when I ask people that question, it was the captivating presence of the speaker and how they delivered their message. The cold reality is this. As a leader, others observe what you do and what you fail to do. They notice what you say and what you fail to say. They pay attention to how you carry yourself, the thought leadership you provide, and the tone of your voice. Your energy, or lack thereof, is contagious. Whether you realize it or not, you're constantly evaluated on your composure, confidence, credibility, and your ability to connect with other people. See, many leaders make the mistake of adopting the persona they assume a leader is supposed to have, which usually just gets them in trouble. It takes time, experience, and practice to transform impulses into insights and articulate them in a way that magnetizes yourself and builds connections with other people. Now I want you to imagine a different scenario. You step into a room and without saying a word, you command attention. Your message resonates, not because it's rehearsed, but because it's genuine. You're not just speaking, you're connecting. See, this is when magic happens, when your authenticity becomes a magnet for trust, authentic trust. That's the secret ingredient, the invisible force that transforms a mere manager into a leader who others rave about. It's like unlocking a superpower you never knew you had. See, that's the power of authenticity. See, true authenticity is effortless. One attribute all authentic leaders share is self-awareness. See, executive presence starts by becoming more aware of your actions. And when leaders reach out to me for help in leveling up their executive presence, the first habit we work on is reflective thinking, not just of situations and events that challenge them, but also of their own behavior. I say that because as a leader, it's imperative that you learn to observe and evaluate how you're showing up. At LXU, we call this practice building your awareness muscle. And those of you who I worked with before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let me ask you a question. When was the last time you reflected on your leadership? When was the last time you opened up yourself to honest feedback from someone you trust? Leadership starts with you. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead other people, period. Think about this for a second. If you cannot lead yourself, Why would anybody want to follow you? See, not many leaders stop and think about it in that way. Are you bringing positive energy, or are you constantly getting annoyed and frustrated? Do you take the time, literally take the time to help others understand something, or do you judge them for not knowing? Do you articulate your thoughts in a way that inspires others to act, or do you intimidate them? Okay, now that I have your attention for a second, let's dive a bit deeper. If you want to develop your executive presence, I'd like to help. First, I want to encourage you to make a renewed commitment to yourself. And I use the word here, commitment, for a reason, because it's important. I encourage you to dedicate the beginning of every day to reflective thinking. Call it your morning leadership ritual. See, what you do first sets a tone for the rest of the day. I want you to find a quiet spot and just start by answering a couple simple questions. One, where did I show up yesterday? Right? Consider your role as a leader, spouse, parent, sibling, and friend. Did you show up as the leader you aspire to be? Were you calm and in control? Was your language impeccable? Did you truly listen to what others were saying? Where did you help others with no expectation in return? Just roll back the last 24 hours and catch yourself doing something right. Write it down. Just write down a simple couple bullets in whatever form serves you best. It could be a journal, notebook. It could be, or it could be a digital notebook. Doesn't really matter. Just capture it. Second question I want you to ask is this: where didn't I show up and why? Again, examine the past 24 hours, just the last 24 hours and the different roles you have. Where didn't you show up as the leader that you aspire to be and why? What events triggered an emotional reaction from you? Why do you think that was? Were you taking something personally? Did you get hooked by someone else's drama? See, this is an opportunity to raise your awareness of the things that cause you to leak energy. Lastly, redirect your attention to the day ahead and ask yourself this simple question: what's in front of me today that's an opportunity to practice? I want you to reflect on the meetings and interactions that you're going to have in the day ahead. What is in front of you today that you can practice showing up as the leader you aspire to be? This simple question is pure gold. It forces you to practice becoming intentional about what you do and how you do it. These are the first three questions I ask my coaching clients to practice. They form the foundation for building your awareness muscle. This daily discipline alone will work miracles for your career and help in every aspect of your life. In fact, I credit this one habit with turning my life around and allowing me to become the man and the leader I am today. When you consciously make morning quiet time a priority, amazing things happen. Priorities begin to crystallize. You refuel your energy and strengthen your inner leader so you can perform at extraordinary levels during the day. Waking up early is a successful habit that nearly all executives practice. Having time to reflect in a quiet atmosphere gets you into the right mindset before the day begins. Authenticity and self-awareness, they're the foundation of executive presence. Next week, I'm going to unpack the next element of executive presence, which is staying composed under pressure. I invite you to subscribe so you don't miss it. If you found these tips valuable, I want you to imagine for a second what a personalized coaching session could do for you and your team. If you're serious about elevating your executive presence and you want an accelerated roadmap in 90 days, follow the link in the description to schedule an exploratory call. Okay, if you like what I shared today, do me a favor. Give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below related to your business, and of course subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this: you're just one idea away. Hope to talk to you soon.